Hi, this is Tad from Island. Today I'm joined by Will Reichman, who's one of our SEs. And Will, you were just telling me an interesting story about a startup customer in the insurance industry that you're working with. Tell me more.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation we had with them initially. They actually reached out to us, and again, they're a startup, and so they have a bit of a small organization. But the security manager there that we interacted with during the initial conversation is responsible for building from the ground up, right? Their whole security program. So, to jump into it a little bit, they started from the ground up. Their first technology was Okta. Their next technology to reach out to was us,
Hmm.
and that's when we joined the conversation with them. And we kind of reviewed what they had going on. And obviously, most of what they were using was kind of SaaS applications, everything in the cloud. And so our first initial conversation revolved around that topic and how they were approaching their program moving forward.
Very cool. So obviously in the insurance industry, they're dealing with extremely sensitive data, payment records, customer records, that kind of thing. And the luxury of being able to start from a fresh slate and building up from the ground is unique. So you said they have Okta, obviously for their identity provider, and with Island, and I imagine you helped them integrate the two so that Island and Okta are now working in coordination.
Yeah. Actually, they had just finished their deployment for Okta when we started our deployment. So they're completely integrated. Their users are seeing the same homepage with the same icons or a similar homepage with similar icons that they see in Okta. We have all the groups and users coming in through Okta, and they're authenticating that way as well. And I think the conversation was just so interesting for me, coming from a lot of organizations that have so many built-in security apps, so many built-in legacy applications where he said essentially, I have, identity provider, I have all these endpoints, and that's it. That's my security. And when he saw Island and we presented to the leadership team there, they're dealing with some complexity on their side, even though they are a young organization. They have employees all over the globe. They have compliance concerns, like you said, in the insurance industry. There's a bit of complexity there, especially with regulation, and we were able to ease their concerns with a number of features within our product that help them control some of their data, especially data leakage and things of that nature.
And I imagine with that very lightweight and simple security stack, that has to be a pretty nice user experience for their employees as well. That they're not being challenged with a dozen different security agents that are running on their machine.
That's 100% correct. I mean, something he mentioned to us on the first call was, I don't want my environment to turn into just a zoo of agents on endpoints, right? And when he was evaluating his needs for technologies, we checked off so many boxes for him that he was realizing, maybe I only need one or two more pieces of technology before I'm fairly comfortable with where I'm at and where our organization is from a security posture standpoint.
That's really cool. I expect that we'll see a lot more of this story with new companies that are born kind of in this cloud SaaS era. That if you're starting from as a new company, then you can really build a very lightweight and efficient process.
Definitely. And I think meeting about what do their users interact with, right? Things like a CRM, things like their email, like a G Suite or a 365. We can enforce the Island browser for all those applications. So their entire workflow is within the Island browser through Okta. It's completely controlled. So to your point, it's very interesting, that he's essentially able to control that entire workflow for all of his user base with two products and able to secure that in a way that's fairly unique. And I think that's something we are going to see. The more agile the company, the more cloud based these deployments go so quickly and easily and smoothly.
That's really cool. Well, Will, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll have you back here again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks.